I hope you're all having a fantastic day and welcome back to my channel. I am so beyond thrilled to be partnering with Thrive Causemetics today in honor of Carissa, who is the CEO and founder. She's turning 30 this year, so happy birthday, Carissa. In celebration of that, they are donating $30 million worth of products to 50 different partners across the country, and I just think that is so beyond wonderful to see them give back in such a huge way. And this is not something they're doing just to be like trendy or cool or to raise awareness. Like, this is something they've always been doing from the very beginning. If you guys haven't heard of Thrive before, basically what they do is whenever you buy a product, they donate a product to a woman in need, either surviving cancer, domestic abuse, homelessness. Those are some of the projects and causes they mainly support. I'm sure they support other ones as well. I know that they donated a lot of money too during all the fires in California. I think this happened last year or the year before that, but they donated a lot of money then. So that's really a big part of who they are, is donating and giving back. And to them, beauty isn't just like makeup you put on your face. It's also like who you are at heart and being able to like give back to others as well. And I think that's so amazing and wonderful. So I'm really excited for today's video. Basically what I'm doing is I'm doing a makeup tutorial using the products from Thrive Causemetics. I'm going to talk about some of my absolute favorite products I cannot live without that I recommend to my mom, my friends, my roommates, my family, like everyone in my life. I'll also be talking about my relationship with Thrive, how that kind of started. And before we even get into that, I just want to say, like, Thrive for me has meant so much more. Like, they've done so much for me in the past couple of years, more so really than I've seen any other brand do. They've really empowered me a lot. And when I first met with Carissa, they were in the Seattle office, and I remember talking with her, and I have trichotillomania, which means I have the impulse to pull out my hair, such as my eyebrows and my eyelashes. And I remember being so nervous, but just like telling them about that because I think they wanted me to do something with mascara, and I didn't have any eyelashes at the time. But I finally got up the courage to tell her, hey, this is what I have. And instantly she's like, oh, you know, so-and-so and so-and-so has that, and listed all these other influencers that had the same thing. And instead of making me feel ashamed for like something that I saw as a flaw, like, she empowered me and made me feel more beautiful. And that's something that their company is all about. It's about making people feel beautiful. And they're one of the first companies to really get behind me and support me and made me realize that my content had value. And they've partnered with me a lot actually in the past couple years. And I think that's so wonderful that they do that, especially as content creators. I'm sure some of you guys know it's not always the easiest trying to work with brands, but they have always been so supportive in so many different ways. And so I'm beyond thrilled to be making this video. So happy 30th birthday, Carissa. You've inspired so many different people, and I know you will continue to do that in the years to come. So I hope you guys are excited for today's tutorial to learn more about Thrive, and let's get started. So before jumping into the tutorial, I did want to highlight 4 of the products that are my absolute ride or dies favorites. I wear these every single day. I cannot imagine my life without them products. Now, all the products are great, but these are 4 that I truly use on a daily basis, and I recommend to all my friends and family, and really think that you guys would love them. So starting off with foundation, that's what you start your face with. This is their Buildable Blur CC Cream, and it also has SPF 35. So I think these launched like about a year ago or so now. I could be wrong, but I truly have not been really using any other foundation since they launched these. My skin looks flawless, and it does have more of like a glowy natural finish, but I feel like my skin looks like my skin. It doesn't really look like I'm wearing foundation, and it protects my skin too with the SPF. I recommend it to all my friends and family because it truly makes your skin look amazing and flawless, and it protects your skin at the same time. Going along with the foundation is this is their Filtered Effects Soft Focus HD Setting Powder, and it's also amazing. They launched this with the foundation. Since they've launched this, I literally have not used another setting powder since. I've gone through 3 of these. I absolutely love it. I feel like with me, I have dry skin, and I do want to set my makeup so it doesn't kind of get settled into your fine lines and wrinkles. But the problem is when I set it or bake it, it just makes my face look really, really dry, like Sahara Desert dry. And with this, my face looks so natural. I just feel like it wears beautifully over a long period of time. It looks phenomenal. You'll see me using it later in the video, but what I like to do is take a brush and just lightly dust it all over my face for a very natural coverage. If I'm going to be wearing my makeup all day long and really want to bake my under eye area to make sure this does not move, I will bake with this as well. well with like a beauty sponge. I'll show you how I do that, but I can use it for both purposes. And truly, I have not used even like big name brands that have like really well known setting powders. I won't use them. I only use this, and it's my absolute favorite. So if you're looking for a setting powder and foundation duo, like these two are so amazing. So going into lash glue, this is something I feel like is not someone would ever rave about, but this is actually what put Thrive on the map. This is one of the first products they came out with, and everyone was buzzing about this when it first came out. It's phenomenal. It is theme park tested. I actually recently wore this. Well, I've been wearing it for the past like 3 years. Not this one, but in general. I wore this when I went over to Disney's California Adventure. When was that? It was like within the last year or so, and I wore it on the Incredicoaster, which used to be known as California Screamin'. That ride goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds. So there's a lot of potential for you to lose your eyelashes if you're wearing falsies. So I tested this out. My lashes did not even budge. So it's a really heavy duty, good lash adhesive eyelash glue. But what's cool about it too is it is latex, sulfate, and paraben free, vegan, and ophthalmologist tested. I've noticed too, like if I accidentally get this in my eyes, it happens from time to time. My eyes don't burn at all, but I definitely noticed that with other eyelash adhesives. This is amazing. It was amazing. I mean, years ago, that was what put them on the map. It's still amazing today. So if you're looking for lash glue, this is like pretty much the only one I'll ever use. And lastly, because we should get into the video, is their mascara. One thing that's really, really special about Thrive, and one thing they did in the beginning and that made it really personal, is Carissa, the CEO, whose birthday it is, she would write handwritten notes. This is when they're a little bit smaller, probably have more capacity to do this. And I kept all of them. Like, she wrote the nicest notes, and they're not just like a couple sentences, like they're like full on like notes, and they're just so, so sweet. I don't know where it is. I looked everywhere for it yesterday, could not find it, but there was a note with this one when I first got it. So for those of you who might not know, I have trichotillomania, which means that I have the impulses to pull out my hair, which is like, for me at least, it's eyebrows and eyelashes. At the time when they sent this to me, I didn't have eyelashes. And sometimes when I'm getting makeup or PR as an influencer, content creator, whatever you want to call me, it's really difficult because it's just a reminder and it brings up a lot of shame around that. But what was so sweet was in the note they wrote me, I can't find it, but they wrote that for when you can use it, because they recognized that I didn't have eyelashes at the time, but they still sent it to me anyways, knowing that I would have eyelashes at some point in time. So that spoke volumes to me, and this mascara is also amazing. I wear this every single day when I do have lashes. It's just phenomenal. I feel like my eyelashes look so long and voluminous. They just look perfect. So you'll still be using this today in the video, but it's my favorite mascara. Truly, it's amazing. So anyways, all that being said, those are my 4 top products. If you guys are like watching this video wanting to know what I truly would recommend that you should definitely get, those are them. There are some amazing other products too. Like, I love their brow eyeliner as well, but those are the 4 that like I literally truly could not live without. So now, after the longest intro ever, let's jump into the makeup. When you order any products from Thrive Causemetics, you'll get them in a cute little bag, and they have beautiful sayings on them. This one says, "Don't quit your daydreams, Thrive Causemetics." They'll say, "Joy is the best makeup," like things like that. Like, they're always very positive, very joyful. And that's what I love about the brand the most, is the fact that they're so positive and they just want to spread love, and they're not a negative brand. They want to give back, and you can see that in everything that they do. I'll be showing you guys little hints of that throughout the video, whether it's on their products, their brushes. They just have the cutest, most uplifting sayings, and I love the fact that they give you such a joyful, cute little bag when you order your products. So these are the products I'm using. First of all, though, I need to go fill this up with water and get this a lot bigger. This is a sponge they sent me, but I wanted to show you guys when you get the sponge. It comes in this really cute packaging, and they also talk about like how you'd want to use the sponge. So it says you want to dampen it, dip it in product, and then dab or use stroking motions across your face. So I'm gonna go make sure this is nice and full of, well, it's not full of water, but I'll make sure it's a lot fluffier before I put on my foundation, and I'll be right back. Also, before getting started, I'm going to tie my hair back. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I cannot have my hair down anywhere near my face when I'm putting on foundation, because I just don't want it to get in the foundation. So I'm just gonna pop my hair back real quick. One thing I love about these sponges too is it has a flat side on it, and this really helps me get in underneath my eye. This really like I feel like fits the curvature of my eye really well. So I did mention it in my top 4, but I also really love their sponge, and I feel like it's really soft too. I don't know if the material is different from most like beauty sponges, but super soft, and I love the fact that it has a flat side to get really up and into those little creases and crevices that can be kind of hard to get into sometimes. Starting off with the foundation, I'm going to take a couple pumps of that, maybe just like 2 pumps on the back of my hand. That's all you really need. I do this 2 different ways. What I'll do first is I'll just kind of like do a couple different dots across my face. So you can kind of see too, this foundation doesn't perfectly match my skin right now, but once you blend it in, it looks a lot more natural. So I'll do that first. And then what I'll do is I'll take the sponge and also dip it into a little bit of the product I have on the back of my hand and use that to just kind of help blend in the product. I'll get up underneath my eye, around my nose area. And when I'm blending this in, I'm just kind of pressing it rather than like sweeping it. I'm mainly just kind of dabbing it in place. Up on my ear, down around my jaw too, making sure there's no harsh lines. So as I'm putting on this makeup, I'm also going to talk about my relationship with Thrive, where that started, and just kind of give a backstory and talk about like some things I really love about Thrive. So Thrive, I think, first reached out to me. I kind of went back yesterday on Instagram to figure out like when was the first time they posted me? When did I first start learning about them? It was when I was actually working for Disney at Disney World in Florida. I had a friend who was working for Thrive at the time, and she's like, hey, we have some of these products. Like, I think you'd absolutely love them. You should totally try them. So then I finally agreed to try them, and they were amazing. I believe back at the time what they first came out with was lash glue. I mentioned that before. That was really what set them out in the very beginning. And I believe that was like one of the first products I really tried. And it was like phenomenal even back then. So I really liked it. I was like, oh, like this is a pretty cool brand. Okay, I'm going to keep trying this. This is awesome. So once I moved back to Seattle, that was in June of 2016, I started to get to know the product or the brand a little bit more. They're actually founded in Seattle. They started in Seattle, and that's kind of how I got to know Carissa, who is the CEO and founder of Thrive Causemetics. So I don't remember when it was when I first got to go to the office and meet her, but when I was talking to her, I realized we had a lot of things in common. And turns out I worked at the Bellevue Square Sephora in Washington, and she had worked there like a couple years before me. Like we knew the exact same people. It was so cool. So we had that connection. And then I believe they're still dating. I know they're dating. I don't know if they're like engaged or not, so I could be wrong, but I believe she's still dating this guy who actually knew my fiance because they grew up in the same area. He knew the family and everything, so we had those 2 connections that I thought were really cool, where that both her boyfriend and my boyfriend at the time kind of knew each other, and then also she worked for the Bellevue Square Sephora, which is really cool. And then the coolest thing actually was finding out why she started the brand. And she had a friend, Christy, that had passed away from cancer. And I actually knew who Christy was because there was a girl in my sorority at the time who was really close family friends of hers and was always posting on Instagram about her story. And she really tragically ended up passing away. But that's kind of what started Carissa's desire to start this whole makeup thing, start Thrive Causemetics. And so if you guys ever get a chance, I won't do it justice, but if you get a chance to ever hear Carissa's story, it's truly amazing and truly beautiful. What she's doing with Thrive is just remarkable. And it's what I love about makeup, and just that beauty is not just like products that you put on your face, but also from within. And she started this whole Thrive Causemetics as a way, like after her relationship with her friend, and wanted to create beauty products that made people feel good about themselves, but wasn't about like, you're prettier than this person. It's all about like self-love and loving other people, and also giving back to those too, like surviving cancer. So that's always been a part of the company. It wasn't something they decided to do to be trendy. They've always wanted to give back, whether it's through makeup or different ways, like through different charities. They've really expanded the charities they support. It was starting off with like cancer related, I feel like, and it's kind of grown to be domestic violence and also homelessness as well. So they're just an amazing company, truly amazing. It's not like they're giving stuff away to be trendy. Like they truly believe in that, and I think that's so wonderful. And I know that she's making a huge impact on the world. Like she's just such an amazing person. So this did take me longer to blend than I normally do because I'm talking while I'm doing it. Normally I can get it done really quick. But as you can see, I have not said it. All I've used is the foundation. My skin looks so beautiful. It's glowing. It's just like looks very healthy and hydrated. You can see that I actually look like I had more like forehead wrinkles before than I do now. And it's very rare to find a product that actually does that. Usually it does the opposite. But I feel like my skin looks phenomenal. I'm not going to put a concealer on because I feel like under my eye area it looks so bright. Like my face just looks perfect right now after using this foundation. Like truly, I just feel like it looks natural. It still looks like me, but I feel like it just makes my face look like flawless. So after that, I'm now going to go in with the powder. I'm first going to set it all over my face with a brush. I'm using their blush brush, and I love that all their brushes also have sayings on them as well. So this says that you're making me blush on it. I believe I use them kind of intermittently for different things. So even though this is for blush, I'll use it for powder. What I'll do first is just kind of dab into, you can see there, the powder. I'll just lightly dust that all over my face, just to kind of lightly set that. They have a big fluffy brush as well, and this is for all over powder. So I'll use them both basically, and this has a cute saying too. It says, "May today be as flawless as your makeup." So you can use either one. This one kind of gets it done a little bit quicker, but it just kind of depends on what you're doing. So I can use that one, or if I want to do more little details, like if I'm going in around my nose, I'll probably take this one just because I feel like it gets into the crevices a little bit better. And if I'm just running out the door, this is pretty much all the powder I'll do. But you can see, like, even though I just set my makeup, it doesn't look dry. You can still see some of the glow on my cheeks, and it still looks like really hydrated, which is really what I love about it. So if I'm wanting to set my under eye makeup and bake, what I'll do is I'll take the lid off and then just kind of press into it and get it on the sponge, and then I'll just kind of press it underneath my eye and just let it sit there for a while. So if you guys don't know what baking is, basically what it is just like setting powder on your face like this and just layering it on and then just letting it soak for like a really long time. While that is baking and I look like a crazy person, I'm going to go in and do my blush and bronzer. I'm taking the shade Rhea for my bronzer and the shade Rosy for my blush. And the Rhea shade is just a really, really nice matte powder bronzer. As you can tell, it's kind of more like olive toned. It doesn't look too orangey, which I really like in a bronzer. I'll actually use that same blush brush first to do a nice like wash of color all over my face with the bronzer first, and then I'm going in with their bronzer brush. This says I came, I saw, I contoured on it just to make sure I have like a little bit more color around my cheekbone area. Just picking a light amount of that up my brush and then just very lightly kind of just dusting that on. I've noticed typically when I get sun, I usually get on my forehead. So if I'm ever bronzing, I'll definitely do a little bit more on my forehead just because I feel like it looks a little more natural. And then picking up a little bit on the bronzer brush, I'll just mainly concentrate that towards the back half of my face here. So I won't go all the way in towards the center of my face, but just mainly keep it towards the back. And I'll kind of brush it upwards as well. This kind of helps to like lift your cheekbones. If you're bringing it down, it'll kind of like sink in your cheekbones. Moving on to the blush in the shade Rosy, I'm just going to lightly dust that onto my cheeks here, on the apples of my cheeks, and then move that backwards as well. And I am using the same blush brush for this one. I don't know about you, but I definitely need to do my brows before I go in with my eyeshadow because otherwise I feel like it looks so weird. So today I'm using the Infinity Waterproof Eyebrow Liner in the shade Serena. And I'm also using their Instant Brow Fix. This is in the shade Serena as well. So what I'll do first is kind of just lightly outline my eyebrows with a brow liner, and then I'll go fill them in with the Serena. It's a brow gel, so you can just kind of comb it through your brows. But even when I don't have very many eyebrows, even right now they're looking a little wonky. You can see that there's some gaps right here because I do have trichotillomania. I feel like using both of these makes my brows look so natural, and I feel really confident leaving the house with my brows on. First, I'll brush through my brows using the spoolie. Just kind of brush them up, make sure they look good. And then when I go to fill them in, I'll start at the base and start to lightly outline them. And I'll flick them upwards because your hair naturally grows from the bottom up. I'll kind of go in the direction that my brows are going. So in the front here, I'll kind of go vertical up and down, and then on the sides I'll kind of go outwards and brush it through too. That helps kind of like even out the product and smooth it out. So if it's ever looking a little harsh, that's all you have to do is smooth it out. And then with this, because it is so pigmented, I will go a little bit lighter handed in the beginning. Like I won't be pushing down really hard. I'm barely touching. I'll even hold the brush side or the product sideways, and I'll just kind of lightly go upwards, but I'm not pushing down on this hard at all. It's one of those things that you definitely want to like build up and slowly layer as opposed to going on really harsh. So that is what I'll do with just the brow liner, the brow pencil. As you can see, it already made a huge difference for my eyebrows. This looks much more natural than this brow does. But again, it's up to you on how you want to use it. You might have thinner brows than me. You might have fuller brows than me. You might not even need to use this. You might just want to use the brow gel itself. But I feel like for me, when I do have sparser brow hairs, this definitely helps to make them look more natural. I'm going to finish off this brow on camera using the brow gel. So it looks like a wand just like this. And what I'll do is just brush it through. I'll start kind of at the front and work my way backwards. Now I don't have as many hairs on the back half of my brow right now, so I'll mainly be concentrating this towards the front. And if I feel like it looks a little harsh in the front, what I'll do is take that spoolie from the first product and just use that to kind of help disperse some of the brow gel. All right, so I'm gonna do this brow off camera and come right back. Now that my brows are on, I'm moving into eyeshadow. So for today, I'm taking their Focus Eyeshadow Palette number 3. This one I really like because I feel like it has the most natural colors out of all the different eyeshadow palettes. They're all matte shades too, so I feel like this is something I would wear every single day. It's also, I feel like, a smaller version of their Perfect Eyeshadow Palette. I feel like they have shades very similar, if not the same shades in that palette, but it also comes with like a sparkle shade as well. So if you're looking for a smaller size, very compact eyeshadow palette for like everyday looks, this is a really great option. I'm also using their eyeshadow crease brush to apply this, and it does say blending is my cardio on the brush. I'm still leaving this powder underneath my eye until after the eyeshadow is on. It doesn't usually have any fallout, but just in case, it's a good habit to get into if you're worried about eyeshadow falling down. That way you can just whisk it away and you don't have to worry about any eyeshadow getting underneath your eyes. Starting off, I'm taking the shade Bridget. It's almost that like white looking color, and I'm applying that to the inner corner and also right below my brow bone as well, just to add some highlight. Next, I'm taking the shade Shawny. It's a more neutral brown, I would say. The one below it, which is the shade Marina, is a little bit warmer, but this is the next shade over to the right. I'm going to just put that into my crease. So just taking the smallest amount. These are very pigmented shadows, so it's really easy to pick up a lot of the product. I'm just going to start working that in my outer crease area. So really kind of starting up at the top and just wiggling that back and forth. And then when there's less product, I'm going to kind of start to blend that in and use bigger motions. And basically, I'm just putting this right above where my eyeball sits to kind of make my crease stand out a little bit more. As you can tell, this is a very light eyeshadow look. Basically, what I want to do is kind of make my eyes stand out more by kind of drawing this back in. So you typically want to use darker shadows to make things recede and use lighter shadows to make things pop out. So by doing this eyeshadow and using these two the way I did, I made my eyes have more dimension and kind of stand out more. I don't really have much of a crease, so by adding this darker shadow, it kind of like brings my crease back in a little bit, so it looks like my eyes are bigger, if that makes sense. Then I'm taking their smudge brush. This is the eyeliner smudge, and it says, when in doubt, smudge it out. I'm taking this dark shade here. It's called Aubrey. Oh, it's called Marina. Sorry, this is the Marina shade, and then the warmer shade's called Aubrey. Just kind of lightly tapping into that. And what I'll do is just kind of lightly dust that along and kind of like tap that. I'm not really sweeping it. I'm just kind of tapping that into where my lash line is, as opposed to wearing an eyeliner. I like doing this a lot with eyeshadows because I feel like it looks very natural and very subtle. Sometimes when using like a dark black liner, it looks very obvious. And this is how I would do a makeup if I wanted a really nice everyday natural look. Because I don't want to close off my eyes, I won't put any shadows underneath. I want my eyes to look wide awake, especially if I'm going to work at like 5 in the morning and I need to look more awake than I really am. Now it's time for mascara, and you guys will finally see what I mean when I'm talking about this mascara being the most amazing mascara ever. Basically, all I'm going to do is just take one swipe and start at the base of my lashes and kind of wiggle upwards to make them look as full as possible. And just kind of moving it back and forth. I like to kind of fan my lashes out. So these first two ones will kind of go out towards the inner part of my eye, and these ones at the end will kind of go outwards. Just trying to make my lashes look as big as possible. But you can definitely see the difference it makes. My lashes went from being invisible to bold and beautiful. I absolutely love this mascara. I feel like it makes my eyes look bigger and my lashes look amazing. So I'm going to go do this side off camera and come right back. Now that my lashes are done and all the eyeshadow is done as well, I'm going to just dust off this powder underneath. As you can tell, my under eye area looks so smooth, so beautiful. And I know that the foundation will not crease or budge at all throughout the day. Now it's time for lipstick, and something that I haven't mentioned up until this point, but one of the things I love most about Thrive is that they name all their products after everyday women. And these are women who are amazing. I mean everyday in the sense that they're not celebrities or people you've heard of before, but these are women who are amazing, incredible, and strong because they've either battled cancer, domestic abuse, different things like that, and just truly amazing. And I think it's so wonderful that they want to include their community and their audience in that way. So my favorite product of all the products, and I'm not using it today, but it's the shade Aspen. This is named after one of my best friends, and I'm actually going to read the post that I did because a couple of years ago they were naming these lipsticks and they were doing kind of like, not like a contest, but they're saying, hey, we want to name these shades after amazing women. This is what they do for all their products. That's why all their products have female names. And so I entered my friend Aspen. So I want to read what I wrote about my friend Aspen and why she was picked for it to be named after this lipstick, or to have this lipstick named after her. So the original post asked what names they should do, and I said Aspen for my kick-ass friend Aspen Elizabeth. She has had nonstop battles with her health, starting with a stroke at the age of 20. She had overcome a spinal fusion as a result of breaking her back in a sledding accident last year. This was, again, like 2 years ago. Has developed central sleep apnea, and worst of all, has heart failure that was started by a genetic mutation. Her heart failure has caused a slow but steady decline in her heart pump function, which has qualified her for a heart transplant once she is sick enough, and she still has not had that transplant. Daily, she deals with migraines, anxiety, dizziness, and fatigue, but even if her heart is physically failing, it doesn't stop the love she has for others. She works on the ministry team for Young Life in Spokane, and she is such a huge role model for the high school girls she leads. She also studied special education in college and invested a lot of her time helping the special education department in high school and college. I think now she's a special ed teacher as well. She's an amazing person that constantly loves others despite the hurdles life throws at her. She's truly an extraordinary woman. So even though she did not survive cancer, she did have some health problems, but she has a beautiful story. She's such an amazing person, and I am so thrilled that they chose to name this lipstick after her. So this is my favorite product of all of them. It's not a shade I typically wear a lot, so that's why I'm using Chihiro, but just so you guys can understand why they name things. And again, it's not just like service level. They just want to make money. Of course, every for-profit company wants to make money, but I just feel like the heart is truly about giving back and making the world a more beautiful place and really encouraging strong, amazing, beautiful women. Anyways, all that being said, let's throw on Chihiro. I love this shade. It's so pretty. So that is it for today's video. I hope you really enjoyed this makeup tutorial, and thank you again to Thrive Causemetics for partnering with me, and a huge happy birthday to Carissa. You've done so many amazing things in your 30 years of life, and the fact that you want to donate $30 million worth of makeup to people is just so beyond inspiring. And honestly, that's what I love most about Thrive, is the fact that they realize that beauty isn't just skin deep, and beauty isn't just about like what you put on your face, but like being able to have a kind heart and giving to other people, and the fact that they've been doing that since the beginning. And that's really what their company is about, is like truly, truly amazing. They're just all around amazing. They're really fun to work with, and I absolutely love them. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!